mysteries of creation are there.
Up in the sky.
Up in the sky.
The moon and the planets are there. And new hopes for knowledge and peace are there.
Hello and welcome to your Inner Journey weather forecast for the week of October 17th through the 25th, which we utilize archetypal astrology to help you understand the themes and energies that might show up in your psychedelic journeys this week and the psychedelic journeys of your clients. So let's have a look at this week and the dynamic alignments of the planets using Archetypal Explorer here. So here we are, this is Mars Pluto, and this is coming to its peak alignment, its exact alignment, Mars square Pluto at the end of the week. So what does that mean? So Mars square Pluto is the energy of powerful, aggressive energy. So powerful Pluto, aggressive energies, Mars. And that may show up in any number of ways. It could show up, for instance, as powerful anger. It could show up as powerful lust. It could show up as images or some type of encounter with powerful animals, the domain of the wild instinctual drives of life. That's Pluto, the deep, the hidden, the instinctual, the driven. And Mars tends to make it aggressive. So powerful beast, aggressive beast. And as always, when we notice energies that come up, if by chance they are unpleasant or maybe scary, we want to be watchful, because we want to know that the inner healing intelligence has a method to its madness. It has a point in the energies that it's showing us. They are moving in a direction, they're providing a lesson, and there's some reason for them coming up. So we want to remain watchful. We want to be mindful, notice the energies, acknowledge them, remain watchful, have faith in the inner healing intelligence, and see where it's all leading us. So an excellent example of Mars square Pluto, so that you can recognize it should it come up in your experiences, is the actress Sigourney Weaver, born with Mars Pluto. And as you can see from this video that is here above, this is a clip of Sigourney Weaver in the movie Aliens, in which she has a confrontation with a kind of a biological horror show of a mother alien. And she herself is carrying a weapon and protecting a human child. And so this scene exemplifies the Mars-Pluto dynamic and one of the directions the Mars-Pluto dynamic can go in that in order to protect someone, she has this weapon and she is calling upon the depth of bravery, depth, Pluto, bravery, Mars. Similarly, the alien horror show Mother is also Mars, Pluto. It's also a biological driven kind of wild being, very plutonic, that is also trying to protect its own. And so there's a kind of a confrontation, a very Mars confrontation between these two protective mother energies. So we can see how the Mars-Pluto energy is engaged in that scene, and one of its powerful manifestations as the protector warrior energy, the deep instinctual drive to live and protect. So Mars-Pluto, as we get later in the week, we can see using Archetypal Explorer here that we're actually we'll see this rising green energy here, this rising green part of the graph. That's Venus square Neptune. So as we get towards the end of the week, that Venus-Neptune aspect is starting to become activated. And Venus-Neptune is a very different energy, because Venus has to do with love, Venus has to do with beauty. And Neptune has to do with idealization. Whatever archetype it comes in contact with, it tends to idealize, spiritualize. It tends to make it geared towards a selflessness, a spiritual devotion and selflessness. So we might experience idealized imagery of idealized beauty. We might experience impulses to want to show our love through kind of a spiritual selfless devotion. That's quite common during Venus-Neptune. So an excellent example now to bring in is actually the entertainer, dancer, performer from the 1920s and 1930s, Josephine Baker. because Josephine Baker was actually born with both Mars, Pluto, and Venus, Neptune. So Venus, Neptune, we can see in her example, because she was an idealized beauty figure. She was a figure of idealized beauty, idealized Neptune, beauty, Venus. At the same time, though, she had this kind of animalistic lust quality emanating off of her, so much so that Hemingway said that Josephine Baker is the most sensuous woman anyone has ever seen. And so that combination there, Venus, Neptune with Mars, Pluto, we can see the idealized beauty with the depth of kind of activated sensuality, sexuality, to such an extent that she was often pictured with wild animals, wild cheetahs, kind of paraphernalia and aesthetic of jungle beasts and jungle scenes and things like that. And so not only that, though, we see the Venus Neptune in her life manifested through the devotion that she showed towards her loved ones. For instance, in friendship, the depth of devotion that we could call spiritual, the kind of the refined quality of devotion to, for instance, her friend Grace Kelly, actress Grace Kelly. When Josephine Baker was going bankrupt herself, she gave to Grace Kelly a villa and financial assistance. So we can see there the devotion element. Similarly, Josephine Baker was married to a Frenchman who was a Jew. And in World War II, Josephine Baker joined the underground resistance in France, partly out of devotion and love for her husband, who was a Jew. She joined the underground resistance against the Nazis. And the underground resistance also reflects the Mars-Pluto. Underground, hidden, Pluto, Plutonic energy, the hidden, the underground, the drive, Mars, that kind of warrior energy, the fighter energy. So the underground resistance, she was part of the underground resistance out of love and devotion. So we've got Venus, Neptune, and Mars, Pluto. So now that you've become acquainted with these two alignments, these two combinations, and the different ways that they can show up, should you experience them in your spiritual practice this week, bring them an eye of mindfulness, recognize them, honor them, and so that you can kind of see what they have to show you and where they have to take you. So I wish you a wonderful week and a very productive one, a fruitful one of wonderful psycho-spiritual growth. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week on Your Inner Journey Weather Forecast. Thank you so much.